चलो गुड मॉर्निंग। तो होमवर्क में भी कुछ डाउट्स होंगे तो लिस्ट डाउन कर दो। We'll solve this 8.2, 8.3, 8.5. Now in 8.2 and 8.3, you'll see rather than giving us number of years or something, they have given us dates. Okay, so these are also very important type of questions. 8.2, calculate the accumulated value as of January 2020 of the payments of 100 every 2 years from 1st January 1980 to 1st January 2018. So we should make timeline. I'll just write the year because the date is always the same, 1st January. So I'll just write down the year. I'll just write down the year. So it is going to start from 1980. Then the payments are every 2 years. I'll keep a gap of 2 years. I'll have 1982, 1984, and so on till my last payment is on 2018. 2018, and we have to find present value at 2020, actually future value at 2020. So our payments every 2 years. Okay, so now in this kind of question, if I assume this to be 0 and assume this to be n, this becomes my accumulated this becomes my payments in advance. So first payment is at time 0 and I do not have any payment at time n, so this becomes advance. So I can say this is my 0, this is my 1, this is my 2, this is my n minus 1, and this is my n. So to find what is our final n number of years, rather my mistake, I should take it as 2, 4, and this will be n minus 2 because then this is number of years. Okay, so number of years, we have skipped one year. So how many number of years? All you have to do is your n minus 0. So that would be 2020 minus 1980. This is very simple. This is just 40 years. Okay, this is 40 years. Otherwise also, even if you have some odd numbers or some not direct numbers, so you can directly calculate it this way. So this gives us that our n is equals to 40. So we have in total 20 payments because we are doing payments to once every 2 years. Okay. So now we'll say our future value. Accumulation निकालना है, okay. So 100 is paid every 2 years. But here our calculation may our value should be annual payment. So if 100 is paid every 2 years, that means 50 rupees per annum. 50 rupees per annum, and we'll have our S due 40 payable half times a year. So we'll have to calculate D half. I is equals to 12%. So D must be and our D12, D half so D half would be 0.101403. So therefore, the final answer 50 into 1.12 raised to 40 minus 1 divided by answer. So our future value 45388.6546. Now 8.3, calculate the present value on 1st June 19 of a payment of rupees 1000 payable on the first day of each month from July 2019 to December 2019 inclusive, assuming a rate of interest of 8% per annum convertible quarterly. So first of all, they have given us rate of interest of 8% per annum convertible quarterly. So I4. Then we need to find present value at 1st June when our first payment is on 1st July. We have our June, July, August till last payment is at December. So our first payment here, second payment here till last payment here. So clearly if this is my 0 and this is my N, this becomes my payment in arrears, right? There's no payment at time 0, first payment is at time 1 and goes till time N. But this is not even 1 year. How many payments are we talking about? I think 6 month ke payments hai. So we'll say in total this is less than 1 year. So July, August, September, October, November, December. So we have 6 months ke payments. If we count, we have 6 months ke payments. So this is half a year. So this is half a year. So your our N is half. So we are going to have present value is equals to the payment कितना है? Payment is 1000 payable on the first day of each month. So 1000 rupees per month. That means in 1 year we will have 12 into 1000. And then discounting for half year payable 12 times. So we'll calculate our I12. उसके लिए पहले I निकालना पड़ेगा and then उसके बाद I12. This is our I. This is our I-12. So our present value becomes 12,000. A, that would be 1 minus V raised to only half a year, so 0.5 by, we'll have our I-12. So 1 plus I, so 1.08243216 raised to minus half, so 0.5 divided by, we want I-12. So our present value is 5863.344. We'll do 8.5. An annuity certain is payable monthly in advance for 40 years. Now see, I told you whenever we have annuity certain return, we assume it to be arrears, but that is certain does not actually mean arrears. Certain means that it is everything is known, and we say everything is known. That is why we take it as default value in arrears. But in actuality, here in this question they have written annuity certain is payable monthly in advance. So in actuality we have to take advance here, not arrears. So if they did not write that it is payable in advance, then we would have taken it as arrears, because arrears becomes default. So certain does not actually mean that it is arrears. It just means everything is known. Annuity certain payable in monthly in advance for 40 years. The annuity is to be paid at a rate of rupees 100 per annum for the first 20 years, 120 per annum for the next 5 years, and 200 per annum for the last 15 years. Determine whether each of the following expression gives the correct present value of the payment as at the commencement date of the annuity, assuming an annual effective interest rate of I. So we just have to check the formula. So the first one, they are saying 100 per annum for the first 20 years, but the payments are monthly. These are not monthly payments. So we do not have payable 12 times, payable 12 times, payable 12 times. So clearly this is wrong. But they have given this I by I-12. Now, if I have something A, let's say A20 payable 12 times. If I write the formula, I'll get 1 minus V raised to 20 by I-12. Now here, if I multiply and divide by I and I take this I here and take this I12 here. So I'm going to get 1 minus V raised to 20 by I that into I by I12, and this just becomes A20 I by I12. So we can convert our payable P types annuity into annual payment by multiplying this I by I12. Okay. So that ways this is sort of payable 12 times. Monthly payment wale hai ye payments. Okay. So we had 100 rupees per annum for the first 20 years. And because of this I by I12 multiplied here, that is why we can assume this is nothing but a payable 12 times or monthly annuity. So this is okay. Then uske baad 120 for the next 5 years. So 120 for the next 5 years and V raised to 20. We have to discount for 20 years. But the problem here is discounting में I by I12 should not be multiplied. Annuity को convert करने के लिए we have to multiply, but discounting को convert करने के लिए discounting तो वही चाहिए. We want 20 years की discounting because first 20 years के लिए we have different annuity, then next 5 years के लिए अलग annuity, and then next 15 years के लिए we have अलग annuity. So this is one annuity, this is another annuity, and this is our third annuity. So first annuity ka present value will come at time 0, but the second annuity ka present value will come at time 20. So we'll have to discount it for 20 years. Third annuity ka present value will come at 25, so we'll have to discount for 25 years. But the problem is that यहाँ पर we should not multiply. So हमारा formula क्या होना चाहिए? हमारा formula होना चाहिए 100 A20 payable 12 times, then plus 120 V raised to 20 A5 payable 12 times, plus 200 V raised to 25 A15 payable 12 times. This should be our actual formula. Okay. जिसमें से if we take I by I12 out, we'll get 100 A20 plus 120 V raised to 20 A5 plus 200 V raised to 25 A15, and ये पूरा का पूरा into I by I12. Okay. So this is what they have given us. So this is correct. First equation is correct. We'll talk about second equation. Second equation में बोला हुआ है if we have 200 for 40 years. Okay, right. It should be in advance. Yes, everything is given in advance. Correct. So this is wrong because then if we want to convert this into advance, so due हो जाता, यहाँ पे D आ जाता and यहाँ पर D आ जाता. So if here they had given us D, then this would have been correct. Okay. So if they would have given here D12, then it would have been correct. So this is wrong. First equation is wrong because it is in advance, not in arrears. Now second wale isme they are saying 200 is payable for all of 40 years and then minus 80 for the first 25 years. Not minus 80 for first 25 and then minus 20 for the 20 years. We'll see what does this actually mean. Now I know the payments are monthly, but I am assuming, just for explanation, I am assuming them to be annual payments. So they are saying in the first year, I'll be paying 200 rupees minus I will be paying 80 rupees minus I will be paying 20 rupees. So in actuality, we'll be paying 100 rupees in the first year. This goes on for the first 20 years because ये 200 तो पूरे 40 years के लिए जा रहा है. So यहाँ पर when we go up to 20, 21 till 25, okay, actually 24 and ये 19, ठीक है. I will just write down these values ताकि and then so they are saying for the all of these 40 years we are paying this 200 rupees. 200 rupees जो है पूरे 40 years के लिए आने वाला है. In advance. So it will start from time 0. And for the first 20 years, we'll subtract, for the first 25 years, we'll be subtracting 80. So I will be subtracting 80, 80, 80. Because everything is advanced, that is why 0 से लेकर 24 तक. And for the first 20 years, we'll be subtracting 20 as well. You can see here, we'll be subtracting 20 for the first 20 years as well. So it will be minus 20, minus 20, minus 20 till 19. So that means for the first 20 years, we are paying 100 rupees. For the first 20 years, we are paying 100 rupees. For the next 5 years, we are paying 120. And for the last 15 years, we are paying 200. So this is same as first 20 years annuity of rupees 100, the next 5 years annuity of rupees 120, and the next 15 years annuity of rupees 200. So this is another way of writing the annuity. अब इसमें क्या हो गया कि this is nothing but if we go this way, annuity of 200 for 40 years. So I'll have 200 ADU 40 payable 12 times. Then annuity of minus 80 for 25 years. So minus 80 ADU 25 payable for 12 times. And then minus annuity of 20 for the first 20 years. Minus 20 ADU 20 at the rate payable 12. So this is another way of writing. So rather than finding different annuities, what we have done is we have said it is subtraction of 2 annuities. So the second one is correct. Second one is correct. Now the third one is wrong. Definitely wrong. Now why is that? Because we have a relationship when we say ADU n was 1 plus V square till V raised to n minus 1. And if I say AN, I can say that is V plus V square plus V cube till V raised to n. These were our equations. So here, instead of n, if I go only till n minus 1, I will be going only till n minus 1 here. So the only difference between these two is this 1. So I can say my a n minus 1 plus 1 will give me a due n. But this works only for annual payments. I cannot say that payable p times ये equal नहीं होगा. Okay, this will not be equal. So that is why I cannot substitute this with this. That is what they have done here. You can see for first 40 years they are saying this, and then 20 years, and then 15 years. Anyways यहाँ पर minus and minus नहीं होना, minus and minus होना चाहिए जैसे यहाँ पर किया हुआ था, and यहाँ पर 200 होना चाहिए, whatever. Anyways, this is not correct. Okay, so this is payable p times नहीं होना चाहिए. This is wrong. So only the second one is correct. Okay, now assignment में से doubts. So question number, why in question number 68 and 69 they have calculated in advance as nothing is given. Don't we by default take arrears? How to know if arrears should be calculated or advance? So 68 and 69, they are saying find the present value of an annuity due of 600 per year paid in semi-annual installments for 8 years if the interest rate is this much. So we could find the present value. See, annuity due, the term annuity due means that they have taken it in advance. Remember when I was talking about payments, so we said that the beginning of the year ke liye we use the word advance or we use the word due. Okay, so the term due means that it is advance. Same thing here, annuity due. Otherwise, if they did not use this word due, then we would have definitely taken it in arrears. In both of them, the word due represents advance. Or koi doubts? Yeah, should we move on? Question 88. Question 88, they are saying 100 per year is received continuously from time 5 to time 8. Assume an annual effective rate of interest of 4.5%. What is the accumulated value at time 10? The one thing you can do is you can directly calculate it using our previous formulas. That would be our rho t is equals to 100 from time 5 to 8. We know our delta is equals to 4.5%. Okay. Sorry, rate of annual effective rate of interest दिया हुआ है, I दिया हुआ है, ठीक है, I is equals to 4.5%. We can find delta. We'll find delta later on. Just write this. Okay. So our formula would be that our future value will be equal to root t e raised to integration delta s ds dt. Okay, this is going from t to, we want to go till time 10, and t is from 5 to 8. This is one way of doing it. So we'll have integration 5 to 8, 100 e raised to, I'll just assume right now we have delta. We'll find that delta later on. Okay, so integration of delta will give us delta s, and it will go from 10 to t, so it will be del into 10 minus delta into t. ये हो जाएगा and dt. In actuality 100 e raised to delta into 10 e raised to minus delta t by minus delta 5 to 8. Okay, you understand this? We can solve it in this manner. Okay. Otherwise, what we can say is because rho t is constant, it is not changing with time. That is why we can assume this to be level annuity. Level annuity for 3 years. So time 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we are saying first year में we are paying 100, second year में 100, third year में 100, but we need to find future value at time 10. यहाँ पर हम लोगों को future value. So I can say future value must be equal to 100 S bar 3. So this calculate for 3 years. But the thing is, this will give me future value here. Future value यहाँ पर आएगी at time 8. This is where I am going to get my future value. So I'll have to accumulate it for 2 more years. So I'll say it will be 1 plus I raised to 2. Because future value or present value is always at the ends of the annuity. I'll have to accumulate it for 2 more years. So this is much easier than doing this. So let's calculate our delta. So delta would be nothing but log of 1 plus I. So I was 4.5, so 1.045. This gives our delta. Delta is 0.04401688. So our S bar is nothing but 100, 1 plus I raised to 3 minus 1 by delta into 1 plus I square. We are getting 350. So future value is 350.222. Okay, so this was so much easier than doing the integration, and that is why we would prefer these kind of calculation over integration. So यहाँ पर दो चीजें क्या important थी? First of all, our rho t must be constant as well as our delta or I, whatever is given, must be constant. So delta जो दिया हुआ है, या बोल सकते हो rate of interest या force of interest, must also be constant. They should not change with time. Then we can use our formula for continuous payments. Any more doubts? let's move forward. We'll go to our next concept. That is perpetuity. Perpetuity or perpetuity. The term perpetuity just means forever. So here we have payments that are going forever. Now, how is that possible? We are talking about literally infinite payments. So the term infinite is not actually unreachable as we always think it to be unreachable. Okay, we can actually reach infinite terms mathematically. I'll give you a simple say example. There is something called a Achilles paradox. Now the term paradox just means there are two concepts that are contradicting each other. That is called as paradox. So Achilles paradox goes, it's a 1600 1600 ka BC or something ka ek philosopher tha who gave this paradox. He said, let's assume that we have Achilles, sort of a strong man, athlete, okay, and he has a tortoise. His tortoise gets loose, okay, and is, let's say, 100 meters apart from Achilles. Okay, so his tortoise is 100 meters apart from Achilles, and then Achilles starts chasing the tortoise. Now Achilles is 10 times faster than tortoise. So tortoise speed is v and Achilles speed is 10v. So Achilles is 10 times faster than tortoise. So definitely Achilles should be able to reach the tortoise and catch it. So as Achilles runs and covers this 100 meters and reaches at this point, the tortoise has run 10 more meters. Tortoise has run 10 more meters. Okay, because Achilles is 10 times faster than the tortoise. Then Achilles runs this 10 more meters, but at that point, the tortoise has run 1 more meter. Then Achilles runs that 1 more meter. Then the tortoise has run 0.1 more meter. Achilles runs that 0.1 meter. Tortoise has run 0.01 meter more, and so on. So this says that Achilles will never be able to reach the tortoise, or you will say that Achilles will require infinite steps to reach the tortoise and catch it. Okay, because this will go on and go on and go on. I can divide it by 10 times as and I will get a smaller and smaller and smaller number. So we'll always have a distance between Achilles and the tortoise. But conceptually, we know that Achilles is 10 times faster, so he should be able to catch up to tortoise and overtake the tortoise very easily. But this says that Achilles will never be able to catch up with the tortoise. This is called as Achilles paradox, because by one concept you are saying Achilles will never be able to catch up with the tortoise, and by the second concept you are saying that Achilles should be able to catch up with the tortoise very easily. And laws of motion say you can easily calculate when and at what point in time and what point in distance will Achilles be able to catch up with tortoise. Then why this concept is not giving us the same answer? In actuality, it is giving us the same answer. This is nothing but 100 plus 10 plus 1 plus 0.1 plus 0.01 plus 0.001 plus 0.0001 and so on till infinite. If we add them up, we are actually going to get 111.111111 recurring. So I can say 1 recurring, and this will be our answer, and this would be correct. Okay, this is our answer. At this point in distance, Achilles will be able to catch up with the tortoise, and you can easily calculate what time Achilles will be able to reach this distance. So at that point, the concept of geometric progression was not very well known, or mathematics was not that advanced. So this concept that we are adding infinite times was not understood then. Now we understand that we can actually add infinite values. Now, sometimes infinite values will give you infinite answer. If you add 1 plus 2 plus 3 till infinity, you will get an infinite answer. Even if you add 1 plus 1 plus 1 till infinity, you will get an infinite answer. So these are called as divergent series. They are going towards infinity. They are giving larger and larger and larger number. But we have some series called as convergent series, and one of them is geometric progression. Geometric progression is an convergent series. So whenever we have a convergent series, we can find the addition of infinite values. Like in this case, if I say AR square, AR cube, and so on, if I go till infinite terms, this is my GP. इसका GP का formula was A into 1 minus R raised to N upon 1 minus R, where R is less than 1. Let's say R is between minus 1 and 1. ये restriction डाल दिया minus 1 and 1 के बीच में. So here I am saying N is infinite. I have infinite terms. Now, if let's assume R is half, my R square becomes 1 by 4. R cube becomes 1 by 8. R raised to 4 becomes 1 by 16, and so on. So every time as I'm increasing the power, my R raised to N is becoming smaller and smaller and smaller. So if I increase it infinite times, my R raised to N or R raised to infinity becomes very, 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 very small. And that is why we are going to neglect it in respect to this one. So it is so small that this one will have no difference. Therefore, we'll just get 1. And finally, we get A upon 1 minus R when N is almost equal to infinity. So we call this as S infinity, or infinite terms का addition हो गया. So GP में we can find infinite terms of addition only if our R is between minus 1 and 1. Okay, this is the restriction. Because if R was greater than 1, let's say 2 hota, the next term would have been 4, R cube would have been 8, R raised to 4 would have been 16. So R raised to infinite would be infinite because our terms are increasing. So therefore R should be between minus 1 and 1 only. Only then we can have infinite terms ka GP. So there are many other convergent series. We are not studying convergent series, so that is why I'm not going into that. It's just a concept that I thought you should know. It's an interesting concept. Okay. So we use this convergent GP or infinite GP to solve perpetuity sums. So in perpetuity, what we are saying is the payments are infinite. So first we'll take advance into consideration. Advance लिया तो 0 पे first payment, 1 पे second payment, 2 पे third payment, and so on. This goes on forever. So our present value, again, we can only find present value. We cannot find future value of perpetuity. First of all, we don't know till when our payment is going. Infinite is not a point in time. So that is why future value nahi nikal sakte. And then 1 plus I raised to n है हमारे formula में. and 1 plus I will always be greater than 1. Okay. Whereas हमारा जो 1 minus v raised to n वाला formula था where v is always less than 1, ये condition satisfy हो जाती. Okay. So here we'll have 1 plus v plus v square. This goes on till infinity. So this is geometric progression where our first term is 1 and ratio is v. So this becomes nothing but 1 by 1 minus v, and 1 minus v is nothing but d. This is 1 by d. I'll do this for arrears. हाँ, इसको हम लोग ये भी लिखते हैं. We say this is a due infinity because we are going for infinite number of years. Arrears में first payment will be at time 1, second payment will be at time 2, third payment at time 3, and so on. So our present value will be v square, v cube, and so on. So our a infinite would be nothing but first term is v and ratio is also v. So you'll get v upon 1 minus v, and 1 minus v upon v is nothing but I. So this would be 1 by I. Similarly, for our continuous, we are going to get a bar infinity will be equal to 1 by delta. Again the same thing, numerator remains same and denominator में di and delta. And also a due infinity payable p times is 1 by dp, and a infinity payable p times will be 1 by ip. Again, these are all formulas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more formulas. So we are using infinite GP concept to solve these sums. So let's move forward with a question. Okay. So the question says a college annual competition has prize of rupees 100 for the winner. The college trust would like to invest a lump sum amount. Lump sum means at one time a large payment is called as one sum. Lump sum. Lump sum amount today in a bank giving 10% rate of interest so that they can give the price uh, each year forever, assuming this year's competition just ended. So we are saying this year's competition just ended, so we'll be starting from next year. The price should be given from next year, and we want to go forever. So next year is going to be our first payment, so that is our payment in arrears, and we are going forever, so it is nothing but annuity in perpetuity. So our present value, how much should I invest today so that I will be able to give 1000 each year forever. So this becomes 1000 divided by I. I is 10%, so 1000 on 0.1, that would be nothing but 10,000 rupees. So if I invest 10,000 rupees today in the bank, each year I will get 10% interest. So as soon as I got 10% interest, I took out that interest. The 10% interest was 1000 rupees. I took out that 1000 rupees at time 1. So I am still having 10,000 rupees in the bank. The next year at time 2, as soon as I get that 1000 rupees as interest, I take that out. So I still have 10,000 rupees in the bank. At time 3, again I do the same thing, and I still have 1000 rupees, 10,000 rupees in the bank. So principal amount is not changing, and we are taking out interest every year. So that way is what happens is our amount remains same. Principal amount remains same. So that is why we'll get interest, the same amount of interest every single year, because we are taking out the interest. Principal बढ़ नहीं रहा है और principal घट नहीं रहा है, so that is why we'll get the same interest every single year forever. This will never end because we'll always have 10,000 rupees in our bank account. So this becomes perpetuity. Now this 84 question, नहीं 84 नहीं, sorry, यहाँ पे वैसे परपिचुटी का क्वेश्चन है ये 89, दैट इज होमवर्क, अदरवाइज हाँ हाँ this 8.4 question, an annuity provides payment of 40 at the end of each month forever. If the interest rate is 10% per annum convertible quarterly, calculate the present value of the annuity. So we are talking about forever. Start solving this. I'll be back in 2 minutes. So 40 rupees at the end of each month forever. We'll say our present value must be 40, 12 times a year, and we'll have a infinity payable 12 times. $480 by I-12. And they have given the interest rate 10% per annum convertible quarterly. So I4 is 10%. You have to calculate your I-12 and you will be able to solve this. Okay. So you can do the calculation. So ये हो गया हमारा perpetuity. Now all the present values and future values can be converted from one form to the other. We saw a little bit of that in the question that we solved here, 8.5. This I by I-12 we took out to get a different form. We can do that with all the annuities. Now how to do it वो हम लोग देखेंगे. So we'll say relationships. So we'll see all different relationships. So if I have, we just saw this, if I have an payable P times, that would be 1 minus V raised to N upon IP. And if I multiply I can write this as 1 minus V raised to N upon I into I upon IP. So this becomes nothing but our AN into I by IP. Same thing we can do with A due N payable P times can be written as, rather than in A due form, we'll write this as in terms of AN again. AN into we'll have I upon DP. We'll relate everything to AN. It's just easier, that is why. Then if we just have A due N is nothing but 1 plus I times AN. A bar N, we'll say that is AN into I by delta. It's the same thing. These are all present value ke relationships. Similarly, we can have future value ke bhi relationships. So we'll have Sn payable P times will be Sn into I by IP. S due N payable P times will be Sn into I by DP. S due N will be 1 plus I times Sn S bar n Sn into I by delta, and we have relationship between our present value and future value as well. We know our future value is nothing but present value into 1 plus I raised to n. We'll have the same relationship. We'll have our Sn will be equal to our An 1 plus I raised to n, same as du n and so on. We'll have S bar n A bar n, and you can relate the others as well, जो भी जिसमें भी convert करना है, but these are the basic relationships. So you will have to treat them as formulas as well. These are also very much important, especially in questions where we need to recognize the formulas and stuff, like here in 8.5 we had to. So these become important then. Now this ends our chapter here. Level annuity wala chapter is finished now. You can solve all of the sums from your assignment and this book. 8.6 ये 8 chapter के जो questions है, practice question, page number 253 of the PDF. Solve all of these 9 questions. इसमें से we just solved a few. We solved this 3-4 questions. Solve the others. So we have 4 questions as homework. (8.1), 8.6, 8.7, 8.8 and 8.9. That is homework. In this chapter, the name of the chapter was level annuity, and that was because we said we have same amount of annuity. In the next chapter, we'll be talking about what if the annuity amount is not same every year. What happens if annuity amount is increasing or annuity amount is decreasing? How do we calculate them? So the next chapter is called increasing annuity, and it is all about increasing or decreasing annuity. Okay, so we'll do that tomorrow. We'll not start today. Okay. For today, we have learned perpetuity and we have learned this relationships. So we'll end our class here. Okay, we'll not go further. And if there are any problems, do ask me. Or then we'll end the session here. I guess no problems right now. So we'll end our session here. Okay, let's meet tomorrow.